Hey, who here loves trains?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hybrid Hobby's very first podcast. We're going to be going over HO scale new releases. We're going to see a little bit of what I've been modeling, and we're going to do a prize drawing at the end of the podcast. Once again, this is the very first episode of Train Time. I'm James, your host. Welcome. Let's begin. Here we have the Athearn Genesis EMD GP38-2 diesel locomotive. It will be available in Burlington Northern, as delivered scheme in 3 numbers, Pacific Pride 2 in 1 number, and the 1990s scheme in 1 number. There's also the Conrail unit. This comes in as delivered scheme in 3 road numbers, with the white sill in 2 numbers, quality in 1 number, and also the Operation Lifesaver scheme in 1 road number. Also, we have the Elgin, Joliet, and Eastern model. That comes in post-delivery in-service scheme with handrail verticals and steep edges painted yellow. We have an Illinois terminal with green and yellow in 1 road number. And last but not least, Pittsburgh and Lake Erie in 2 paint schemes with 2 numbers each. Details include factory installed and painted wired grab irons, prototype-specific details, and LED lighting. The DC model has a 21-pin connector for decoder of choice and has an MSRP of $199.98. The dual-mode DCC sound model is equipped with the Soundtrack Tsunami 2 sound decoder and has an MSRP of $289.98. Up next from Athearn, we have the Genesis line EMD F-Series diesel locomotives in HO scale. The road names included in this run are going to be Burlington Northern and the Northern Pacific Pine Tree scheme with patch out for the merger. This will come in an F7A, an F7B, and an F7AB set in 1 road number each. We then have the Denver and Rio Grande Western. This is going to come in the Aspen Gold, Silver, and Black scheme, available in F9B in 1 road number and F9AB set in 2 numbers. After that, we're going to have the Milwaukee Road. This comes in the 1970s orange and black scheme, available in an F7A in 1 number and an F7AB set in 2 numbers. Next is the Northern Pacific unit. This is going to be in the Pine Tree scheme. This is actually pretty cool. It's going to be an F5A in 1 number and an F7AB set in 2 numbers. So that F5 actually looks like something to look forward to. And last but not least, good old Southern Pacific. And that's going to come in the gray and scarlet scheme with Gothic leathering. And it's going to be available in an F7A and an F7AB set in 1 number each. Can't wait to see those. Up next, we have this beauty from Broadway Limited. This is an HO scale Chesapeake and Ohio Class L1 464 steam locomotive. This will be available in the orange original boiler with 4 road numbers, the Baltimore and Ohio Museum version with 1 road number, and the later yellow boiler with 3 numbers. Also, there will be available version in painted brass but unlettered. Details include locomotive and tender brass body with die-cast metal chassis. Other features, dual-mode Paragon 3 sound decoder with rolling thunder, traction tires, and synchronized smoke unit. MSRP for this baby is $749.99. And the last HO scale locomotive for this episode, the Walthers Proto EMD GP7 diesel locomotive. Road names included Great Northern in the Empire Building scheme, Belt Railway of Chicago in the 1950 to 1970 scheme, Chessie System with C&O reporting marks, Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy in the black and gray scheme, Erie Lackawanna, gray, maroon, and yellow scheme, and also the Reading Company, yellow and green scheme. 4 road numbers per scheme, 2 each in direct current and 2 in digital command control. Details included improved hood contours, factory installed and painted wire grab irons and lift rings, and warm white LED headlights. DC model MSRP is going to be $199.98, and the dual mode ESU lock sound DCC sound decoder equipped model MSRP will be $299.98. And something cool we have here in the Athearn Genesis line are its new HO scale cabooses. We have the International Car Company cabooses. As you see in the picture, we have the Union Pacific welded style Cupola cabooses, Class CA-8, mid-1960s and mid-1970s, roughly, and they come in 4 road numbers each. We also have the Seaboard Airline in 4 numbers, and Pittsburgh and West Virginia in 2 numbers in the International Car Company cabooses. Athearn's also releasing the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy welded side wide vision cabooses, classes NE-13. We're going to have CB and Q in 4 numbers, and Fort Worth and Denver in 2 road numbers. These cabooses will be available in DCC with decoder-controlled LEDs, interior details, and factory-installed and painted wire grab irons. The DC model with lights, MSRPs for $109.98, and the model with lights and dual-mode soundtrack sound card DCC decoder, MSRPs for $149.98. Can't wait to see these. Alright guys, this is the segment of the podcast where I bring to you what I've been modeling. I am definitely an Amtrak modeler at heart, so I do want to show you guys my Amtrak trains, probably the first couple segments here. So the first train I'm going to show you is the Southwest Limited. And as we see it going by here on the screen, a little bit of background information on the Southwest Limited. Santa Fe's Super Chief and El Capitan generally ran as one train in the later years before the Amtrak takeover in 1971. This was a popular train, and Amtrak took it over and continued to run it as the Super Chief. In March 1974, Santa Fe prevented Amtrak from using the name Chief, so Amtrak renamed the train Southwest Limited. It held that name until October 1984, when Amtrak renamed it the Southwest Chief, as we know it today. The new train names kept the same train number, 3 and 4, and the Chicago to Los Angeles routing. In 1976 to 77, F40PH locomotives arrived to become Amtrak's standard power on most trains. The STP-40Fs frequently derailed at high speeds on curves, and this led to speed restrictions on many Amtrak routes and prompted their replacement with the more reliable F40PH. Derailments were less of a problem on the Southwest Limited, and the train kept the STP-40Fs longer than other routes. The high-level equipment ran on the Southwest Limited until 1981, when the train was upgraded with new superliners and F40s, which this train I model represents. The locomotives are manufactured by Proto and Walthers, and all the cars in the consist are manufactured by Walthers. All clips were shot at the California Southern Model Railroad Club in Norwalk, California. A great club that I am a member of. You guys should check it out.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
That's right. It's time to play the game. All right, so it's time for our first ever prize drawing here on Train Time. The way you enter the prize drawing is comment on basically posts that I post in the community section on the YouTube channel. So I will post posts here and there and basically mention things and just comment on those and you get added to the drawing. Also, check the Facebook page. If you do comment on Facebook posts, you also get added. And the last way to get added to the drawing is comment on this video itself. Comment on this podcast video and you'll be entered into the next drawing for podcast 2. Here we go. Oh, John Demand. John Demand wins the first prize here on Train Time. Well, John, I'll get in contact with you and get that prize situated. Everyone else, I'd like to thank you for joining Train Time today. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode. We'll be back with more information, more modeling, more new products, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks again, guys.